Well, well, well. Hello there, engineers. And welcome to another Space Engineers 2 live stream. See, we got Niv Jake in the chat. What is up, Jake? How is the Space Engineers and content creation going for you? Hope it's good. This was not really a scheduled stream necessarily until 15 minutes ago when I decided, you know what, I'm building in here and kind of feel like hanging out. So just figured I'd go live and see what happens. We are making this. Well, I say making, as you can see, it's mostly done. Been working on this the last couple of days. This is a mission runner. Yes, exactly. It gives you background noise while you play. I too like background. Sometimes when I'm playing, I also pull up other people's streams. So this game's very chill, and there's a lot of just chore task things to do and building and stuff. So it's fun just to kind of throw it on and have it on in the background while building and stuff. So yeah, here we're on a planet with this, even though it's I haven't built this in survival mode because we can spawn planets now. Shout out to, let's see, I got to give a shout out here. Got to give a shout out to the homie that helped me bring this up. Oh, the names aren't loading. That's for some reason I'm in my stream. The names don't load on Discord. The names, everybody's names turn to B ... and I don't know why. So shout out to B. This is, let me see. I don't know why this happens. I don't know if this happens to anybody else. Whenever I go live in OBS, Discord specifically, everybody's names turn to their first initial and ... I forget the name. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's a unique name. I just want to see your name so I can give you a shout out, man. Anyway, remind me how to open up planets in SE2, so we can now spawn planets and like fly around in like creative mode and such, which you could do before, but it required some like file modification and it was a little tricky. But now that planets are actually in the game, we can paste them in here and fly around. So yeah, it's very helpful to have background noise in the game, especially when putting together sets for long form videos. Yes, I feel that for sure. Yeah, so this ship, let me set my camera settings back here to normal. Had it on sort of a cinematic mode to get a screenshot for the thumbnail. So the premise that I'm trying to do with the ship, power on. By the way, if you ever get tired of ship noise, you press Y to turn off your ship. This ship is kind of just designed to haul cargo and run missions, so I can basically load it up with a bunch of oh, that's streamer mode. You can disable the settings. Ha! That's hilarious. I didn't know that. That's good to know. See, this is why it's useful. Let's see, man, I'm so bad at Discord. I used it very loosely in the past, so I am not the most amazing Discord. Streamer mode. Turn that off for now. All right. Bean Ward. Shout out to Bean Ward. I knew it was like something that was like two simple words, but yeah. Shout out to Bean Ward for showing me how to spawn planets in creative mode and stuff. So now we can launch planets. And what's cool about this is I want to do a lot of racing. As a lot of you already know, I built a Talon. It was one of the first blueprints in the workshop. It's a cool spaceship. It's an Ion spaceship though, so I won't even try to bring it here because it would crash and fail. It's an Ion thruster ship, but we'll be doing like race events and stuff like that. And when we get multiplayer, it's going to start as 4-player co-op, but that's enough for initially some racing anyway. So the cool thing about being able to spawn planets now and flying around is oh yeah, the ping. So that's a good point. It's okay. I guess I'm not as famous as you. I don't get as many pings as you do on Discord. But yeah, so fortunate enough to do racing, so we'll do like planet racing and stuff. I'll figure out the parameters. We have a channel in our Discord that's dedicated to racing that's going to start popping off more once we get closer, and we'll figure out kind of parameters we want to do for limiting racing, like how many thrusters can be on a grid. Like it'll probably be like block limitations more than like PCU, because PCU is kind of irrelevant, just because since there's ray tracing in the game now, lights and stuff are 150 PCU, so I'm not really worried about PCU limits for racing. I think it's more take more of an approach to like how they do racing with like stock cars and F1 and stuff, where there's just limitations on like how many like thrusters, maybe like there's just a max amount of like fuel tanks you can have, or like reactors or whatever, so limited on like a power scale, and then that sort of gives people the freedom to design it however they want. Leo's in Games, hello, good to see you again. Turning down the game for your stream, thrusters are drowning you out. Yes, thank you. I did it earlier and I guess it's not enough. Let me good call out, because drilling's also really loud. And this game's kind of, this game can kind of be fatiguing anyway with a lot of the extra sound. We'll just turn it down to 30. We don't need too much. See that? It's probably better. Looking at my mixer, it could probably be less. It's almost like my mixers have, maybe I'm over compressing something. Is it better now? Hopefully. It's much quieter on my end, that's for sure. But yeah, so we'll get into finishing this ship. This ship is not done. I still have some detailing I want to do. The thing about building stuff right now for survival is that all we have currently is just the hand welder. We don't have any way to like area weld. So anything that gets made has to be designed in a way where it's easy to weld. And the other issue with welding in survival right now is you can't weld through blocks. So like if you have like an unwelded block and it requires a block behind it to be welded to mount it, it like that's weird. Why does it should adjust. I'll turn down OBS. But it's the game audio. My thing's just pulling desktop audio, so I would have thought that it would have turned it down, because literally it's just pulling whatever my desktop audio is. But now it's way quieter. So we'll park this here. We'll come back into here. I actually have a creative mode where I'm building this thing. So let's just save this here. Let's load up the mission runner. So one thing that I think is useful with some of these streams where I'm building stuff is showing sort of like process. A lot of people asked about it after seeing some of the other builds sort of process, and best ways by showing, I guess. So I figured I could probably start actually doing it from the get-go more, but I'll show you how it came to this. So I'm still working on the form factor, like cockpit's going to change and stuff. This is the current version, but as you can see, there's it's been through quite a few iterations, some iterations where the thrusters even get tucked in. But I first started with a cockpit. I usually start with just kind of messing around with like what kind of cockpit things can I make. I don't love this, but I started doing that, and I was like, you know what would be better is if I actually just lay it out. So there was actually an inspiration. I made like a mood board, which I think I can I can pull that up here. Should be right here. Show you the mood board I was going for, because I have a whole process. I actually have a video I'm probably going to make for the actual full process that I do. But here's a mood board. Select what? Just open up my photo, man. All right. So yeah, that's a good point of turning OBS down so I can still hear noise, but same difference. Yes, area welding is a future that it's already been teased by Merrick. Yeah, we're gonna have area welding. I hope that it wasn't clear if it's gonna weld into things, like behind things, through things, or if it's just gonna like weld the proximity of things at the front. But I really hope that it lets you weld through things, kind of like what the main welder does, because that's something that would be super useful to have as a hand welder, because hand welding is sometimes a bit of a chore, but sometimes you don't want to like set up a whole freaking ship just to like weld a couple things, you know what I mean? So it'd be nice to have area welding handheld. So this is sort of the mood board I put together for it initially. The hind to the helicopter was actually added in after the fact, because once I started laying out here, I'll show you in a sec, it sort of took on the form factor of a hind. But I basically wanted to have a ship that was sort of looked like a VTOL ship. Obviously, we don't have rotors or anything, so we can't do VTOL stuff right now. But I just like these form factors, and I just wanted a cargo ship that I could just load up with components and just like go run contracts and not have to like worry about like mining for ore while I'm on contract. And also it'd just be useful just general use ship. It can like tug and haul and stuff like that. It has a lot of thrust power, and it can work in ammo or in space. So it's sort of just like a utility sort of chore ship, sort of to get us ready for the next stage of building a bigger ship. Oh, you tried building the bottom right? It's funny. Yeah, I just like have a huge mood board on Pinterest of a ton of different ships, and I like to just sort of throw 3 or 4 together. There's probably, I think the top right one is probably the one that I most liked. But I liked sort of the cockpit bay and the door of this top left one. The bottom right one I had in there, but I haven't really looked at that one very much to modeling. But then the ship kind of took the form of the Hind. So I pulled the helicopter inspiration after I laid this out, because I laid this out and I was like, this kind of just looks like a Hind helicopter. So I was like, let me put one of those photos in there to see if I can reference any details off of it. But I usually find when I'm trying to build something like this, I just know I wanted to have a cargo ship. And I wanted to have a ship you could walk into, because I think that's super fun. Nothing wrong, nothing against the cockpits in the game that just are the vanilla block where you just get in and out of, like on the starter ships. Those are definitely nice and convenient, but I just always love having internal cockpits. And now that we have a unified grid system, we can definitely make some pretty cool stuff. So, and maybe the potential of having extra seats just for, if you need to run with somebody else. But yeah, so I knew kind of wanted to have like a little crew area, not very big. Otherwise, the goal was to have cargo and to have huge lift, which also could be used to potentially tug something. So if you needed to pull like a big ship off of a planet or something like that, or take something into space, you could have enough thrust to get into space with some really heavy builds. So that's how it started. I sometimes will lay out skeletons in a couple ways. This time I laid it flat on just some grids, just kind of piece it together without having to worry about deleting something in the whole like creating like 2 grids, because I split my grid in half. So I just kind of did this as a quick sketch. Twitter keeps hitting you with ships from other games like Star Citizen and other games. Yeah, Star Citizen actually has some really cool ships. That game is pretty cool, but you can't build your own, so that's not as fun. Or at least I don't think you can customize them anyway. I never played it. Just always seen it. Looks like a sweet game. Watched a lot of scenarios in that game, people run missions and stuff like that, or hiding in the back of other people's ships. I really hope that that's some stuff that we can kind of start doing in SC2. That'd be sweet. So yeah, I brought it up into space here, kind of actually made it a form so I could fly it around, see how well it worked. And this just sort of kept adapting it, slapped on a cockpit, just kept messing with how am I connecting it, where are my conveyors at, how much more cargo can I get on it. And I sort of just like, once I get to like a skeleton phase, I just copy it and paste it. And just because I like to work like non-destructively. I do like a lot of like graphic design and stuff like that. So just sort of in the habit of working non-destructively. So copy a version, paste a new one, and just sort of tweak with it. If any time you want to make like a major change, like here, I wanted to see what it looked like with the thrusters tucked in. So just copy in a new one and just chop the thrusters off and tuck them in. I find working just in versions like this is really useful. Plus then you can like try something major. Like here, I totally tried to change how the cockpit sloped to see if I could get like a smaller cockpit area, and I just didn't like how it was looking. So I was like, well, I know how that looks. I'll keep it here so I know in the future as I'm building again, if I look back at that and I'm like, I wonder if I should go back to that, I can look at it and be like, nah, I didn't really like that. And I've just been greebling on this one, getting the armor in, because I kind of have everything set up now how I want to, with the thrusts and everything, and tested on a planet, works pretty good. Tried to haul some stuff. It seemed to haul pretty well. So just been greebling. Last night when I was messing around, I actually found kind of a fun way to detail these hydrogen thrusters. This is sort of a fun little thing. So anytime I'm like detailing, I like to just follow the geometry of the shapes that we already have, rather than just like box everything out and put everything underneath armor. And I was messing with the hydrogen tanks and the hydrogen stuff, and I actually found some cool stuff. So let's say, let's go over here. So a few things with like hydrogen tanks. Probably actually make the shorts on this. So you have the hydrogen tank, right? The thruster is actually, this smaller thruster actually matches up okay with the hydrogen tank. But if you're putting on a bigger thruster, you'll see it does not match up very well, right? It's kind of sticking out over the edge. However, if you take your hydrogen tank and flip it the other way, now you have a square that matches your thruster perfectly, and everything lines up. So that's one fun fact about thrusters, and you'll see that in practice on this ship, the top hydrogen tank is flipped so that the big thruster can sit more flush with it. And the bottom one, it's sitting on the end. And also I have the hydrogen tanks oriented, one facing down and one up, because on the bottom of the hydrogen tank is a hydrogen tank refuel, so you can come up to this and refuel. So this is actually set perfectly so when I'm landed on the ground, I can actually just come up to this and just refuel hydrogen right here, which is pretty nifty. And there's also one on the top, so if you're working on the top, this one's also positioned up, so you can access that. So that's one fun thing about hydrogen. The other thing that's fun is if you, which is in the case of the ship that I just did, if you have to slap a connector or an adapter on top to convert to the smaller conveyor port. I'm going to paint this white just to show an example here. Actually, we'll go gray. That's what I did on the ship. So you got gray there. You might want to cover this, right? And have something else here just to not see this. But so going back to the idea of mirroring the symmetry, you can kind of see on the hydrogen thruster, we have a right angle here. So you can actually slap these guys kind of here like this, and then these across. Now this kind of sits more flush. And what's interesting is if you'll notice that on the thruster, it's black here. So you can actually just switch to black and paint this black. And it actually just looks like it's an extension of the thruster, and it's covering your conveyor port or anything like that. And you can take this a step further if you wanted to add more armor, but you didn't want to totally cover the thruster, because I kind of like keeping some thrusters exposed. I don't like just having everything in armor. Like, not everything is a combat ship, so not everything has to, like, be able to survive everything. But you can just take these blocks and do something kind of like this. And you sort of got your two-tone here, and you can actually come to here, change this color to black. By the way, you can hold R now to select color, which is super nice. That was much needed. You can put these here. Now you've got 2 layers of armor that are different colors, but they're color matched to match the thruster. So it kind of just looks like you've extended the geometry of your thruster, and you can cover whatever components you have behind it. So that's sort of how I like to lean into the geometry of shapes as I'm detailing things, just for whatever it is. In this case, it was just for thrusters. But you'll see that I have that here on these thrusters where I've detailed them like that. Yeah, just sort of makes it look like it's a natural part of the ship and just sort of extends the geometry. So a lot of this is just kind of extending geometry of things that are here to figure out how to get the detailing in. And because something I like to do a lot, especially since we don't have area welding, is anywhere there's like important things I need to make sure are put together right, like conveyors. Like I'm trying not to make anything too deep on this because like it's gonna be hard to get to with the holograms. But in certain areas where there's like important things like conveyors you might need to access, I actually put like the metal grates on top, on top of them, or these supports, and then that tells me like when I'm welding it that if like I need to check on the conveyor to make sure it's put together, I just remove these blocks and I can get to I can like access my conveyors. Or this one, sorry. Well, this one's this one's to get that adapter there. This side's the conveyor side. So I can get that and remove that grating, and then get down into conveyors here to make sure those are put together. Or like here with this grating, I can remove this grating and I can get to this conveyor here. Because gratings are like really easy to replace. Like if you're doing your projection and you have to like delete something to get to something, you can just delete the grate and just know that it's a grate that goes there to cover it. So I like to keep grates in areas where I know there's like critical components, so that way when I'm building, same with these support beams here, let me get to this, all this conveyoring here. Just making it easy on yourself to build it in survival makes it way easier, at least until we get area welding. But even that just also looks cool to have access to stuff like that. Otherwise, got the side of the ship kind of greebled here. Got batteries here on the outside just to quickly pop the power modules in and out, as well as an O2 H2 generator there. The O2 H2 generators actually look pretty good, and they have like really cool detailing like with these pipes here. So with stuff like that, I actually like to keep it exposed just because it's like free greeble, and it makes the ship just kind of look more alive and textured. Even the batteries, to the extent, you know, you got these power bars here and stuff, and it's got some cool like detail and venting things on it that gives your ship more life, especially when we have limited blocks to choose from. I don't have it blended really yet into the build. That's what I'm going to kind of work on here next, is work on the underside here, because I'm not loving these connectors here. the ship actually, when I was flying around in the creative mode, I took these off and just to see what it looked like. I was flying around. It actually looks really cool, and I'm like, oh man, do we really need connectors though? So I'll figure out something to not make it bulky, because this is just straight up a cargo container here, and then there's the top of the other cargo container. So the current height is just one block on the top conveyor, on top cargo, and then the bottom ones are bare, but I'll blend this one in here too. Otherwise, I've just been working in this interior space and just kind of making fun details and like adding supports and just structural looking elements. Same with the top here, just kind of messing around. I'll probably keep the hydrogen tanks mostly exposed, although we'll mess around with some bumpers here. I was messing around with some bumpers last night just to keep them a little safe in case you have a little whoopsie poopsie and forget to turn off your dampeners or something like that. But accidents happen, so at least they're external, so if they explode, they don't destroy everything. But yeah, that's what we're going to keep building here. So last night when I was building, I stopped on these side hydrogen thrusters. They were in one farther, but I didn't like how they looked on top of these other thrusters. I still don't know if I love how they look. I build a lot I build almost entirely in the spectator camera, because you can, you don't have the ear fatigue of your jetpack, but you can also kind of fly into things here. So if you need to like check out something specifically, you can fly into areas normally you couldn't. And you can actually also do this to paint. So if you needed to like paint something behind here, you can actually get back here and paint where your character normally wouldn't be able to go, which is pretty cool. And you can change the speed. If you need to just like get inside your ship real quick, you can just like fly through the walls, not be limited. But also, it lets me keep my pilot on my pilot suit. So if I want to just like pilot it and kind of look around and see how it's looking, I can do that easily. It is crazy in space because all these vertical thrusts that are going to be needed in atmosphere for carrying heavy loads are a little intense in space, and we currently don't have a way to set anything on toolbars, because normally I would just disable those thrusters when in space, or just disable like half of them or 3 of the 4, because you don't need them all in space. Yeah, maybe I don't hate the side thrusters sticking out the side. So Jake, what are you working on right now? What are you crafting? What's the long form content you're getting ready for? Let's see, we're gonna figure out how to merge these thrusters in. These are just exposed right now, which is obviously not what we're looking for. We're gonna turn symmetry mode on, and we're gonna set it for the blue one as well, because this thruster array is actually the same front and back, so we can keep them the same for now. Certain blocks are not currently playing nice with symmetry, which is something to be aware of. Let's see. Just start doing by doing. Looking at the geometry here of this thruster and figuring out how I can transition down into it. We can also just potentially do something like this. Let's see. Let's put one of these here. Let's do this for now. I like to move pretty quickly on a lot of things to try to not get bogged down. Just trying to see. I just want to see what it would look like if there was like a light in here or something. So we don't have really many lights yet. Certainly one way. If we have the light, we probably don't need armor around it because it already has some greeble. Hate that you can see the conveyor. Let's pull up our... Yeah, this doesn't really have much thrusters. I'm actually curious to... All right, we're doing this. Here we go. Let's do this. Let me pull up my Pinterest here. Well, Pinterest. I've got a whole board, which I'll show you. I'm just looking for some ideas of how to mess with this thruster. So this is my board. I have a whole board of interiors, asteroid bases, stations, tabs, all kinds of things. We're going to look at the craft one just to see if there's some language we can borrow. So I initially was envisioning something like this, where the thrusters were kind of inside a little bit more, but it already is kind of turning out to be pretty big. And I don't think I'm going to have much room for that. It's going to add so much bulk. I also can't wait till we get like hinges so we can make like angled things like this. It's going to be so sweet. And not to mention we can just do VTOL stuff properly. Also, by the way, Lego builds are super useful to look at if you're trying to come up with inspiration, especially since some of it uses the language of space engineers. So some of the thought process has already sort of been troubleshooted for you. There's a lot of really cool Lego stuff. There's even some that are really small Lego things. If I find one, I'll click. I like kind of like this one. That one's not quite a good example, but there's a lot that are like really, they represent like big ships, but they're like really abstracted, really small. Surprisingly, really useful way to come up with some ideas. Let's see, like this one. See, here we got, those are obviously more atmospheric. I like how those are just kind of sitting out, but ours are more of a thruster. There's always some sweet Star Wars carriers. I think for the most part, I just got to transition it into the armor. And sometimes you kind of find the answer when you're just kind of working on the transitions, like, oh, the whole block's got to move one block this way or that way. Here's one of our initial inspiration ones. Let's see what the related shots are for this. Could even just spend, I mean, there's so many hours to be had just scrolling through Pinterest, man. There's so many great ideas out there. AI is surprisingly really bad at making spaceships. hasn't quite figured that one out yet. Yeah, everything I'm kind of resonating with kind of has more exposed stuff. It's actually really cool. This little fairing sticking out. Here's another example of that's actually an ad. So I was gonna say there's a Lego one there. Yeah, I guess you just guess we won't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Let's just delete all this. And sometimes just a simple thing. Also, too, if you ever feel like you're looking for more inspiration, just look at your blocks and see if there's something that maybe necessarily isn't an armor block or something that would be used for armor but would look cool anyway. Like a button turned around or backside of a button panel or something. There's all kinds of cool greeble on the backside of these things. Oh, you know what I haven't done yet is I haven't done much with the half wall in this build, which passes as sort of a heat sink in a way. Whoa, my chat must have been way behind. It just now caught up or something because I hadn't seen anything posted in a while, and now a bunch of stuff just popped up. That was weird. The last thing I had for a long time was, Jake, you talking about your Twitter. Imagine they give us actual propellers for helis. That'd be so nice. Yeah, actual propellers would be super nice. Yeah, but it seems like I wasn't catching up on chats because it all got behind. Hey, Max, how's it going? Maybe I should not have this. I don't know why it was. I don't know why it's later. Here, I'll pull up the actual YouTube stream in the background. Be a little bit more responsive, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, actual heli blades would be super cool if that's something they can actually figure out.
You can.
Let's see. I like the storytelling with the build by build copying. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I figured people might appreciate it. Oops. I'll have an actual creative video as well to catch up. To do like creative mode tips and stuff like that as well. Put like 30 hours in update and haven't noticed a refuel off the tank. Yeah, I think my buddy showed me that one. My buddy Splash Damage. Yeah, yeah, it wasn't being rude. It just wasn't popping up. Speaking of the tab, where'd the tab go? I had. Here we go. Let's see. The largest ship ever made in SE. So far, it's you're making the largest ship ever made in SE. That's crazy. So far, it's 3.2 million PCU, around 800K blocks total. That's absolutely bananas. Jeez Louise. I certainly can't wait to see it. That does seem like a long form one that's going to take a while to make. All right, got the actual chat open up. I don't know what was the YouTube Studio thing was like showing me my stream and it wasn't saying anything. It just yeah, just apparently no chats were loading. One thing I don't like about the half wall is that it's a 5 wide and everything else is 4 or 6. Like the half wall and the half rails are like, I guess some of the windows are too. Yeah, I don't love this. I'm just gonna keep moving just for the sake of sketching. Yeah, that looks stupid. No go on the half wall. I haven't used these. I haven't really found much use for the truss blocks yet. I mean, I guess they're interesting like structural agreeable. They just look they just don't really look like a, I don't know. I mean, I guess they're for like towers. The big ones especially, they kind of just look like an unwelded block. Like they just look like an SE1 unwelded block. But I guess if you're going for that vibe, it's definitely useful, agreeable for something at some point in time. Let's see. What else we got? What else have we got? Give me something cool. I can't wait till we have more blocks to work with. It's going to be so fantastic. Oh, I can just put some guns up there. Placeholder miniguns. Does have conveyors on them? Yeah. It's conveyored and everything. Can handle more big. Yeah, SE2 probably should be able to handle more. Do you remember the Minecraft mod I shared on Twitter? Yeah, yeah. Because I mentioned that it'd be sick if they had like a zombie mode for the Minecraft mod. Yeah, there's a mod that lets you build like Minecraft textures and shapes and stuff like that. Oh no, are you building a Minecraft ship? Is the entire ship Minecraft blocks? Because that would be bananas. Oh man, I knew I was gonna hate this part of it. Can also just sort of back up here a little bit and, well, actually I guess this stacks here. See, it could just be a structural looking thing. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to be covering the whole thing. I just like that it covers a conveyor more than anything. There's a lot of Space Engineers content on Twitter too, so it's, I see things all the time and I don't remember which platform I saw it on. Let's see, which means this does not need to be that block anymore. This can just be this. Oh, detailing block. It's interesting, the detailing blocks, they are a building component in survival, not like iron or anything. Which kind of indicates how weak they're going to be. So I don't think once we have more damage and stuff, I was going to test sort of like layers of armor and see what works. Oh, the ship was at the end of the Minecraft mod vid. I don't remember it. Shoot. If it wasn't on Reddit, I could pull it up easier. Reddit's just such a wormhole to find things. Let's see. Let's try to do a little harder angle here. Oh, I broke something. Oh, that doesn't float. Oh, damn it. Hate it when you accidentally make a separate grid, and you have to go find everywhere on that grid you did that symmetry and delete that block, because it'll ruin everything if you don't. It'll ruin everything. Let's see. So let's put this here. Just try to transition out of this angle, see how far we can take it. I think to there, and we'll put this right angle here, this right angle there. No, wait, that's not right. Gotta get into this angle, so I gotta take this detailing cube, and we're gonna take this one, and put this one. Sort of like a constant puzzle, really. Let's see, I know there's a way to make this, yes, then there, and then this one switches to, no, this is just going to compound that angle. I have to go all the way back on that wall, which is, I don't want to do, but I could do it. Oh man, how intense am I trying to... So they actually got a small team together now, and it's looking hella ambitious. They got a lot planned, basically just making Minecraft and SE2 like a total conversion mod. What? Reddit is a scary place to share your content. Yeah. They're going to make a full conversion mod with Minecraft. That's... Oh, that sounds like a lot of work. All right, before I rebuild this whole connector, let's see how if this would even line up like how I want. Don't know that that's what I want, so let's just abort that mission. So the equation to solve for is how to transition this corner here. And, you know, with since they're doing like NPCs and stuff eventually, and you can do like the character mods and stuff, and you have the same tools as they have to make with, definitely SE2 is for sure a good place to try to do a full conversion mod like that. It'd be a lot harder in other games, but in Space Engineers I feel like it'd be pretty easy. Not easy, it's definitely not easy at all. It's a lot of work, but it's definitely got a better shot than a lot of other platforms. Like, it'd be a lot harder to mod SE1 to be a Minecraft conversion. That's crazy. That's never been a big Minecrafter, but I am here for it. Whatever gets butts in the seats, I am here for. Okay, I think that is the shape we'll kind of go for. And then now we have this conveyor, but we can actually, these armor blocks you put on top of our hydrogen thruster to blend out of our hydrogen thruster, we can now use to blend into this hydrogen thruster. Like so. Change it to black here. And put that there. And transition that like so. No, that was a 90 before. Now it's not, though. Shoot. We made programs to help them do it. They're just waiting for scripts to be officially added into the game and the mod. They made programs to do their conversion. That's crazy. You know what I'm curious to see is how much can they actually build out like a Minecraft world before the game crashes? Because there is like very serious calculation limitations. Like Minecraft, the whole world can be made of blocks, and it's made for that. But like, if you made a whole world out of like blocks, I don't know how far they're going on their conversion. But if the whole world is blocks, that's crazy. I don't think you'd be able to play with ray tracing. Safe to say. But we'll see. We'll let them cook. That is by no means... Actually, since this is right angle, we can just put this flat one in here, and then just put this right angle one here. That should do that. Yeah, let them cook and see what they come up with, I guess. So we'll just paint this whole thing black just to keep it going. Which means now I gotta go find it everywhere. I hope eventually they add painting symmetry. How good do I predict SE2 will become in relation to SE1? Well, you know, so I will say I spent way more time in creative mode on in Space Engineers than anything else because I love building stuff like this. I was a big Legos kid, and if I had this game growing up, I would have never played with Legos. This new unified grid system is great. Ever since I built on unified grid system, I like literally haven't played Space Engineers 1. I've tried a couple times. My buddy goes in, does like hardcore things, Space Engineers 1, but I'm like, I just can't get into it because because every time I built in Space Engineers 1, like I'd be like in a cockpit like this, right? And I'd be like, I'd want to light up here and then like maybe like just a cool like desk in the same square. And I was just like, why can't these things exist in the same square? There's so much room. So unified grid is great. The ray tracing, I mean, is just phenomenal. And I know those aren't gameplay mechanics, but so far with survival, I think they're improving a lot of stuff. I like that there's I'm mostly saying this first, not because I think this is the top cool thing, but we just had a robust discussion on it in my Discord. There's no stone in Space Engineers 2, which I think is great because stone is only useful when you're first like starting out, just to get like some iron and like some silicon and nickel and stuff. But otherwise, when you're drilling, stone is just such a chore to like deal with. Like it's just a system to manage, and I was pretty excited for that to be gone. But there was a in the Keen feature request site, there was people requesting stone to come back, and a lot of people supporting it. A lot of people wanting it just for like concrete. And I'm like, we don't have concrete. We just have like a concrete texture. So I don't know what that was all about. But yeah, like the backpack building is pretty clean. Let's see what does Jake say. I know I had to turn it off running the mod, but they said they are going to have have voxels reshaped to be square, and that'll handle that ish. That still sounds like a man. They have a task ahead of them to make the world of Minecraft voxel world. That's that's so bananas. But yeah, like the contract's gonna be sweet. I think what's gonna be the game changer for SE2 is they're gonna have like AI with like actual characters, and they seem like, I'm hoping one of the videos we're scripting right now in the Discord that we're brainstorming is like combat character stuff, like player character combat things, because like they did tease there's gonna be like weapon attachments, and they might do like multiple suits and stuff like that. But I think having like NPCs in the world that are that like are like actual people to like interact with and stuff like that, and like battle with, and like they're just being more like encounters and stuff like that, is going to be just so much more of a robust game. They also have in like survival, there's like jump stations that let you, like, you go to a station, you can like fast travel from place to place, which I imagine those will be choke points, and which would be cool if there was kind of choke points or like more like global events. Because if you've ever played in vanilla, well, I mean, of course you played vanilla SE1, but in vanilla SE1, even if you go into a server, it is so hard to find people. Like if you want to get into PvP, you basically just have to like join a custom server and like go to PvP zones, which that's a very fast way to get in PvP, which is cool that there's like quick ways to get into PvP. But in vanilla, there's like just a vanilla survival. There's just not much to do. Like you build a ship, you get to space, like you get the jump drive pretty quick. Like end game happens super fast. And I think with SE2, the way they're setting it up, there's just going to be a lot more to do and to like build for and strive for and stuff, and that is something I'm really excited for. I think it's, so my prediction is it's gonna just be way different and way better, but that's my hopeful opinion. Concrete could be a tier block, kind of like how heavy armor is a tier, would be unique for like planetary bases. Yeah, so they did have there was a texture for concrete blocks, because I love like concrete architecture, so I'd make buildings all the time with like the concrete texture in Space Engineers 1. I think that's fine. I don't think they need like a whole nother block group just for like concrete blocks. It seems not super necessary. Like if they're gonna do that, I'd rather see like reactive armor and stuff like that before they start adding like concrete. Like I'd rather see more like functional armor types. You know what I mean? Which talked about that in my shields and survivability video, like having like stealth armor if there's radars, or like like reactive armor. I'm trying to figure out how to cover these conveyor ports. I just don't know the conveyor ports. don't really need rear lights. Oops, didn't have my symmetry on. That's right. Let's turn this on over here. Going back to like Greeble things, the backside of the spotlights is also really cool Greeble. It's just unfortunate that they're 700 PCU. There's so much PCU because ray tracing be like that. Which is why when we do a racing league, I'm not really interested in setting a PCU limit. It'll just be power-based limits. I don't know that I love these. I'm gonna go fly it over here real quick. The investment AI company. Yeah, they own Good AI, I believe is what it's called. Good AI, good something like that. They actually had some. Merrick was talking about it for a while in the Dev Diaries, or there's AI people, and I think the parent company of that, so to speak, is Good AI. The spotlights work pretty good. It's kind of landing lights I needed. They were kind of low, so I lose my light a little bit. Probably should be higher up on the build if I really don't want to lose my spotlights too soon. But yeah, so I kind of got the vibe because he was like they made like a world where there was like AI and they'd like walk around like talk to each other, as though they were like sort of like multiple like large language models talking to each other. And it was like a farming thing, like, I'll go over here and farm this and build this or whatever, and like, oh, Susan's hungry, she needs this or whatever, and they'd like talk to each other. You could go up to them, like say whatever you want, and they'd like sort of like react accordingly. And then like it was sort of this like quaint little like, it happened in like it was like a farm pen basically, and then like it quickly was like, oh, there's aliens attacking, we gotta like do something. They're like trying to figure out how to like respond to the alien attack, and I was like, okay, I kind of figured this was gonna go in this route, sci-fi route, because this tool they're making, it would be sweet to use for space engineers, and that's kind of what it seems like is gonna happen. So here for that. I think it would actually be super cool if they did figure out a way to have like the NPCs actually use some sort of like large language model, because I've already been thinking like, man, like I'm sure people are already working on it, maybe they already exist, a game where it's like it's just a language model. So like you could have like, if you're just like walking around your house doing chores or whatever, you could like play the game where you're like talking to the AI, and it's like a space game or whatever, and like it gives you like verbal things like, oh yeah, you're on a spaceship, and like, Captain, we need you to do this, like how are we gonna like respond to these guys like hailing us or whatever, and you can be like, don't even respond to them, just blow them up, and they could like blow them up, and the game could like the story could evolve based on like what your actions are and stuff like that. But rather than having like it'd be kind of like a sort of like a tabletop RPG like Dungeons and Dragons, right? But instead of like having a dungeon master, the AI is the dungeon master, and you can just say whatever, and it'll just like think and calculate and just advance the story for you, and could have music and like tense music that ramps up and stuff like that. I think that's kind of the next generation of games. And I can see that blending in with actual games like this too. Like you could have AI in the game like this, and you could prompt them, and they just sort of do their own thing, and they work within the engine limits. So like they're not gonna just like create a block that doesn't exist. But like if you decide to like rally a bunch of AI NPCs together to like just go beat somebody up, you could be like, hey, this guy's like Jake's over here, and he keeps like telling me that I need to like mine more stone, and I hate stone, so like we should just you know, here's the reasons why stone is bad, let's rally against this guy and take him down for being like a stone advocate or something like that. And you like convince all the NPCs to like rally against somebody or something like that, just like create a posse just from the large language model. I think that would be super cool. I think that's sort of one of the next logic, that's like a logical merging, I would say, of like AI with video games, and that'd be wild if that happened, and he's kind of working on that. So I'm just kind of seeing how he cooks that up and where it goes from there. But yeah, that could be pretty wild. Fun fact: you can find Good AI logo in SE1 on the revolving door. Oh, really? It's funny. Yeah, they're not shy of Easter eggs, that's for sure. Oh my gosh, why am I struggling with this? Oh, because I'm doing it wrong. Yeah, I mean, every game, if they had like a model like that incorporated into a game, like every time you play the game, it'd be totally different, because like the AI could come up with something different for like one event. Like they could come up with like they on their own might just do something entirely different. You just might do something different out of the gate that just like drastically changes the world. Like you could be totally different. You better mine that stone. Make a cult, the stone cult. Stone cult killers. that's what they'll make the AI posse. The stone cult killers. That's great. I'm trying to figure out now how to just trying to kind of complete this greebly. We kind of have this empty spot in these back thruster area here now. I could just continue the geometry upwards. Oh, you know what I do need on this build, I think, is I need a couple more gyros. I was flying around a lot, and I was like, I could be a little bit more maneuverable. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Yeah, I have really high hopes for the future of SE2. Just letting them cook and do their thing. I think it'd be pretty hard for me to be disappointed in it, honestly. They'd have to do a lot of things wrong for me to like be disappointed in the game. But we'll just wait and see. Let's see. What can I greeble back here? What kind of fun blocks do we have? Well, we got some batteries. We got small batteries are interesting looking. You know what's interesting about batteries? As I take a sip of my seltzer, is with the power cells being removed, if you want to like be able to quickly swap, like, I mean, you could just still have your batteries deep in your ship and just charge like normal. But if you want to like use them, like on this ship, I have them in the front here so I can like quickly grab them and swap them. But this also makes you like exposed to enemies. So like a way to just like, you know, in terms of like hydro manning things or whatever, if somebody has exposed batteries, you could probably just go up to their ship and like you could disable their grid just by pulling all their power modules out of their batteries, which is kind of hilarious. Just kind of a anticlimactic way to shut down a grid. Maybe be getting too many gyros if I do this. Let's see. Let's fly. Let's move around. No, it's good. It's good. It's good. Can't have too many gyros. And it's going to get full of cargo. It's going to be harder to use. Probably won't be super useful when you haul stuff. I can actually test it by hauling something now. Let me go grab this. Let me save first because there's a really horrible damage bug in this game right now, to where if you damage a block on a grid, it creates this like toxic spread where it starts damaging other blocks around it and it doesn't go away. Yeah, I have high hopes for the modding side too. Yeah, it's the modders that'll keep the game alive between updates and after development quits. That's why I talk to as many devs as I can. Yeah, well, the first game, in terms of like when development quits, I mean, the first Space Engineers went on for a long time, so I imagine this will go for a long time too. But yeah, the fact that they opened up the mod tools the way they did certainly makes things interesting. And I'm curious to see. I'm actually kind of curious to learn a little bit myself, learn some stuff. Just the dampers off of the ship. Just turn it off, actually. I think come back to the ship. All right, how does this? Oops. Oh, it actually gyros pretty well with the ship attached to it. Wow. Yeah, I just hope that the only thing that makes me nervous, I mean, I shouldn't say nervous. I'm excited for a lot of different mod stuff. The only thing I hope that doesn't happen is like all of the quality of life improvements come from mods, and I say that because City Skylines is something else I make videos for. I haven't done it in a while, and the reason I haven't done it in a while is their game is like in constant turmoil because they like right now they're like their development company. They have the Paradox Interactive owns the IP, and they were working with Colossal Order to develop it. Well, they just fired Colossal Order, which was that was the only game Colossal Order was working on. And the game launched, and it wasn't ready. It was like so not ready. Like there were so many broken things. They should have launched it like early access, and they didn't. And every single quality of life improvement that's ever come from that game is coming from the modding community, because they also have like a great mod system. However, when the game updates, like mods break all of the time, and if the mod breaks, sometimes it can like mess with your save, so like you can't even load into your save, and it's just like so frustrating because like a mod will just like stop working because of an update, and it'll be down for like a few weeks, even if it's like an essential mod. And that it's like killed their community. Like there's a lot of players, but it's like it pisses everybody off. It's like it's so annoying. So I just hope that the quality of life stuff for SE2 comes from actual vanilla like improvements in mechanics, and not from the modding, not have to rely on the modding community. And then just that way the modding community can focus on more like hardcore elements, or like, you know, making cool armor blocks or whatever. I also hope that if there is a cool mods or like cool armor blocks, that Keen just like pays the modder to just like acquire the blocks, to use the blocks in the game as vanilla, because that'd be such a quick way to grow the block set, because there's so many really cool blocks in SE1 but I don't even bother with building them, because it's like you put it in the workshop and it's like, okay, here's the thing, you have to go download these like 6 or 7 mods to like even use the thing, and you won't even be able to use it like in game. You can only use it like in the creative mode. You just happen to have like, because there's a lot of like cool like airplane parts and things like that. So it'd be really cool if there was a way to like, if they started like acquiring some of those blocks and put them into the base game, and just like paid the developer whatever, like a scouting fee or whatever, to like acquire their blocks. That would be a great way to grow their game without having to like do their own development. So I hope that they sort of do stuff like that, because the mods are created using their actual mod editor and stuff like that, or their like game editing software. So it should be pretty easy to port it into the actual vanilla game. Prey goes on for a long time, but I'm worried is what we saw what happened with Medieval Engineers. I don't know that Medieval Engineers had like a huge following though. Like how many people wanted to like, I didn't know about Medieval Engineers for a long time. I didn't actually know about it probably until like a year and a half ago. I don't know how old it is, but I didn't know about it until a year and a half ago, and I was like, yeah, but like I'd rather just play Space Engineers. So I don't really know how like popular it was in the first place. SC2 is dang near only playable with mods. It's rough. SC2. Do you mean CS2? Assuming you mean CS2, because yeah, you pretty much have to have mods to do anything. They even like City Skylines, they added a thing like a line tool where you can, because there's like a great mod for a line tool where if you wanted to place like a bunch of rocks or a bunch of trees in a row, you could do that. And City Skylines like put their own line tool in the game, but you couldn't even use it to like use the fences to make a fence. It would like put like 10-foot gaps in the fence, so you had to like do 3 separate lines, and it was like a jaggedy fence line. I'm like, what the hell? Like you can't even like place a fence line. Oh yeah, if they put a paywall onto mod things, yeah, it depends what it costs. Like I like City Skylines, like, well, even the first Space Engineers, you know, they would like have a bunch of blocks in the game, and they could still have the mod for free, but they could, you know, charge for it. I don't know, whatever they do with that, it is what it is. I just want there to be some way to have it in vanilla. I bought all of the packs for the first Space Engineers. Well, I actually didn't, I think, buy the last 1 or 2 because I stopped playing it for this game, but I could not have enough blocks in that game. That game is, yeah, I could never have enough blocks. Okay, yeah, you did mean CS2. Yeah, City Skylines is only playable with mods. I would for sure agree with that. I had to play vanilla for a while because I used to play on GeForce Now, which was cloud gaming. So I did play for quite a while on vanilla, and that's all my videos I made actually were vanilla, I believe, because I haven't really messed with this much since I got my computer. Been talking more than building. Just been staring at my ship here. Oh, I should put my symmetry back on the blue mode here. Yeah, I think the move is right to, I think the way that SE is sort of doing these phases and kind of getting these like live testing, I think that's definitely the way to go about it. Kind of let sort of like the hardcore players play it and figure out the bugs, report them. There's a lot of bug reports going on, which is good because they've been pretty good about fixing a lot of the bugs eventually. There's not many bug reports that I remember filing in the past that are still active. They seem to get taken care of, get squared away pretty easily. What if we paint these red? I'm just trying to figure out how to fill this in here. I'm too fuming now about City Skylines 2. Yeah, I think this is an opportunity to have our red in here for sure. It's a good example of why it's useful to be in spectator camera, because I can fly in here and place my block exactly as I need it. Yeah, we'll do that. Haven't bought the last two either. Can't justify buying DLC for SE1 since they said, I don't know if they plan to follow through, but plan to add lots of DLC from SE1 into SE2. Lots of DLC. I don't know. I remember asking that on a live stream and Merrick answered it. And I don't think they're going to add much. They're going to port. It was about, I asked about porting, or maybe somebody else asked about it. I can't remember if it was me or somebody else. It was, I definitely have asked that question on stream, but I don't know if mine was answered or eventually just got answered by on somebody else's. But regardless, they said that like they can't just like port stuff over from SE1 because they have to like remodel everything. So it's not like just like they can just like take an existing asset and bring it over. So they could, since they've kind of done some like homework on research for like design style and like design cues on some of the DLC, they could definitely pull from that to just like inform what they want to make for SE2 for any like why did I broke something, shit, damn it. What did I break? Oh no, I know what I did. Oh, I had my symmetry on, I delete. Oh, what did I do? Oh man, I deleted something. I don't know what I deleted. Shoot skis. I had my blue symmetry on, but it was a little different over here. Yeah, I don't think they'll just like automatically port everything over into SE2 because yeah, it's a little different. Merrick said it wasn't quite that easy, so. But they could. That's not to say that like they already know what they want things to look like, so they could just make it work in SE2. I don't know. We'll see. But you definitely don't get your DLC content. Like you just if you bought something in SE1 and it's brought over to SE2, he did say that nothing is like that everything you bought was for SE1. It wasn't for SE2, which I wouldn't expect. I wouldn't expect that anyway. And I want to like support the development of it also, so. I don't expect any freebies. It's nice that actually just this base game was discounted because it's like 30. I don't know what it is now, but it was like $30 when I bought it because that was the whole thing. If you buy early access, you get it cheaper and you can like submit bug reports and stuff. And why was that one block weird? So I just missed a block when painting. You have a system for that since they are backporting SE2 stuff into 1, but they had talked about it during the second live stream of SE2. Okay. Oh, so they're moving SE2 stuff into SE1. Oh, because I know they've done some like features. Or what did they? There was something big they backport. I can't remember what it was. Stopped following the development of SE1 a little bit, so sort of fallen off on that somewhat. Alright, we'll call that fine. I can still weld everything in survival here pretty easily. Just probably got to remove that support. Just want it to be weldable. I kept all my conveyors yellow too, that way I could know what a conveyor was. Yeah, I think, I don't really give too much insert word here or whatever to people that are, if people like that, some of the people that are outraged about things in the community, they're not, I don't know, sometimes people just like want everything for free, and they want every little feature and stuff, and it's just like you can't, they have so much capacity and they have to like they're still a business. I don't know. Oh, that's what I deleted. Oh, good God, how did I delete that tank? What the hell? I don't even know how that happened. That's kooky. Oh, you know why? That's okay. That's what happened. I deleted this, which was not symmetry to the other side, but I had my blue symmetry on, and it deleted the hydrogen tank. It deleted actually everything in that row. So there was something else that was here, I think. Oh man, love that. Let's see. So this was that. Make sure my fuel's up. White. Fuel access up. Easy fix. Easy fix. That there. All right. I had something in here, and I don't think. Maybe I didn't. Maybe that was just pending space. Now they have red over there. It kind of begs for there to be red over here. So it was this row. How does this row look red? I don't hate it. I don't think I like the thrusters red, though. I like the thrusters being off color. Oh, it painted through the... Oh, shoot. Sometimes the... Ah, dang it. That's what the undo button's for. So glad undo does paint now. Lip service. That's the word I was looking for. People that are like content and happy with the game usually don't speak up. So when you see feedback and half the feedback's negative and half the feedback's positive, you always got to assume that there's a fair portion of people that have positive feedback that just don't say anything because they're satisfied and don't see the need to waste any effort. Which isn't to say that obviously people that have a gripe with something shouldn't be addressed, because things can definitely go wrong. Sort of as we talked about with City Skylines. And that they were, man, I mean, on that one there, so people are so dissatisfied the company that owns the IP literally fired Colossal Order, which that was the only thing Colossal Order was working on, and they hired this development team that it doesn't look like they've made like any games even close to the robustness of City Skylines. So that the future of that game is seriously just hanging in limbo at the moment. I am really curious to see what's going to happen with that. It's a bit of a wild card scenario, if you will. Let's see what this looks like in here. Let's actually stop for a sec. Turn our symmetry on. Turn off the blue so we don't break everything again like a bozo. How's the stream quality, by the way? Is the I'm still optimizing my settings. Is the stream going smooth? It's like the frame rate's good, or the frame rate's kind of jittery. Yeah, the update live streams. Yeah. I've missed the last few just because I've been like traveling or busy on there when they're happening, but I haven't been able to be on the last couple of them. Yeah, you get some people that are always in there asking the same questions. When can I get keybinds? That's the big one. People really want keybinds, which I don't blame people for wanting keybinds. I think the keybinds in this game are all right so far. Like building in this is so much better than SE1. I don't know what I would change keybind wise, but it's also obviously really useful to be able to change keybinds, no doubt. Let's see. This could be red also. I think I should probably stop greebling this top area because I don't want to make it too hard to put together. Oh yes, used to use a lot of angry people on Xbox. The game was able to, yeah, pre-order like you could pre-order it 2 years ago and never actually launched. Yeah, man, that's crazy. I would be kind of annoyed, but it's like if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's just I mean, so many things just broke when they launched. I think they had a launch plan and like, okay, we're gonna launch, then we're gonna start working on Xbox, but then like they launched their game and then like everything. Quality's good, buffer needs work. Okay, I'm not sure what to adjust for that. Is that just my bitrate needs adjusting? Or is that like a... Or is it actually a buffer size? I gotta lower it. Output. I'm not sure. Yeah, the keybinds didn't seem one that was too crazy to get in there. I think some of it is just because like you know, when you're like doing tutorials and stuff, it's just like press this button to like do this action. If you change your keybinds, that has to change dynamically. So I don't know if it's just I don't know if it's just harder to program that or what the deal is exactly. Maybe this just stays open. I don't know. I think I'm overthinking this. See if I got a little greeble up my sleeve somewhere or something. Worst case scenario, just throw some detail blocks at it. City Skylines isn't giving refunds. Is that what you're saying for the Xbox pre-sales? That's fucked if that's the case. That is super dick move. Especially since that's a $60 game. Up your bitrate to 10K. The bitrate is 13,500 right now. I could probably go higher. Yeah, I have a yeah, my PC's pretty good. I can play this game on 4K. I just don't for the stream because I'm not gonna stream 4K. I could stream 1080. I'm at 1440. I could stream 1080, but I could upgrade. Let me put the bitrate higher and see what happens. Let me go to like 16,000. I'm not really sure what the thresholds for something like that are, so we'll find out. Oh yeah, it's telling me dropped frames. 62% of the frames I've dropped. That's not good. I'm still dropping frames. I wonder if I can reset this percentage so I can see what it's doing now. Well, I upped it to 16,000. And it's maxing out at 11,000, it looks like, kilobytes per second on my bitrate. It won't go higher than that. Probably pause this. Let me make that go higher. Oh, now it just jumped up. Maybe it just took a sec to process. Oh, because the drop frames is probably once it sends to client, so that's probably behind. YouTube is not receiving enough. You also have like pretty good internet, so seems lower. Maybe quality presets then. Keeps buffering for me when I try to watch 1080p and I have to go weird. Move around here. Got my thing. I think maybe it just took a sec to change. It says now it's way higher bit rates, but it's still dropping frames. It's dropping a lot of frames, actually. Maybe I gotta go lower. Maybe it's too high. Let me go to 10,000 like you said. Yeah, I gotta figure that out because it's one thing when building like this, but when I'm actually doing more engaging stuff, it would be nice to not be dropping frames. Man, it still says dropping frames like crazy. Maybe I shouldn't mess. Maybe I shouldn't mess with it while I'm live. Shoot skis. Let me go back to what it was. Yeah, I don't know what's... I think I've upset... I've upset everything. Yeah, because I pulled it up and it's... Because I've had it open also, the stream, and it is buffering more for me as well. I could not have the stream playing, though. Maybe that'll help too. I'm going to pause the stream. It's just useful for debugging. So the reason why I kind of just wanted to spontaneously stream, just because I wanted to see if there were any issues or not. Okay. Maybe it's more stable now. Oops. So it's putting at 10K you haven't buffered. Oh shit. Okay, well I just upped it back up to 13,500. Yeah, this will be in the workshop. Yeah, for sure. Also, hello Roger. Yeah, all the builds you've ever seen me working on will all be in the workshop. I actually have another one. I actually have one that's ready to go in the workshop. I'll give you a teaser for it real quick. I just need to make the videos for it. I have this oops, not that one. That's a bug blueprint. That one shows double what it is. Yes, there it is. This is the other thing I'll have in the workshop even sooner. This I just tested this in survival and it works. It's just a little minor. It's set up to be the max height a grid can be, and while using right click to drill through. So you can right click and drill straight through and not have to worry about like making more room for your ship. You can just go straight with this thing. So this will be in the workshop soonish, probably early next week, maybe this weekend. I might have it this weekend in the workshop, but I'll make a video for it and have that live. But I'll put it in my Discord as soon as it's on the workshop. What's your GPU at? After a few minutes of game going at max settings, the game starts maxing my GPU out. I have a 5070 Ti. I think I also have a 5070 Ti, actually. It's a 5070 something. It's got to be a Ti, right? Only Ti. Awkwardly looking at my computer to see if my GPU says it. It's a 5070. I think it's a Ti. I just got it. It's probably like... It's less than a year old. It was right when these came out. It was like a month after these 5070s came out. Is it? So I put it back at what did I think I put it back at. Is it still buffering? I put it back to 13,500, which is what I started at. Is it still buffering again? I'll knock it back down to 10K if so. Sorry, Roger. You came in as we were troubleshooting something. We were min-maxing a little bit. Okay, so what I don't love is seeing these gyros, but I can't find a good block that fits in here the way I want it to. What I would like is one of these supports that isn't so long. Like one that's half the length, please. Otherwise, all I have is just these support blocks, which I said I'd never used these before, and I haven't found a use for them. So maybe I'll just throw that in there and let that be the use for it. Wait, why are they red? Didn't they just select gray? Open tab. Yeah, that's a good point. I could do that. Let's see. Is this thing? Let's see. What are we doing here? Oh, yeah, I didn't have it open, so it's got to, like, track the history. Let me put this in the other window here and see what it does. Buffering is good. Okay, it's at 13,500 right now, which is what it's been until I upped it higher. It's running, but it's outputting out of OBS at about 12,000. Let me pause the here. Let me close something else. All right, let's see what the GPU does. GPU is actually not showing anything. Oh wait, here we go. It's running it. It is the 5070 Ti, by the way. It's running at 38% right now. My GPU, 40%. So yeah, it's memory's at 44%, CPU's at 8%. So I don't know why it's bad, unless it's like my internet's being bad today or something. It ran fine though last stream. Like it was pretty smooth. All right, I'm gonna call that good on those thruster areas for now. I need to work on this bottom area. This is really the area that's rough. I also will probably shorten this cockpit, most likely. There used to be a way, maybe it still exists, Jake, maybe you know, there used to be a way on YouTube where you could like preview your like stream quality before going live, and I couldn't like figure out how to do that again. I was like Googling stuff, and maybe I'm just retarded, but just likely, but just couldn't find anything for how to do that. I remember getting like a email about it eons ago. Eons, I say. All right. It's at high. It's not cranked. I mean, I could turn ray tracing off, but it's only running at 40%. So like, I don't know. It seems like that's not. I mean, I could put it on performance versus quality, just while I'm streaming anyway. Weasel's working. Yeah. Okay. Hello, Weasel. Yeah, it was. It definitely was buffering because I opened it up and I had it open and it was buffering for me too. But that was, I think, when I cranked it up to even higher. I don't know. Could have just been a maybe there was a hack going on somewhere. Welcome to the Discord, Niv Jake. I guess another reason why people do stream mode, to your point, because you could just say dirty things and it would pop up in the corner of my screen. Not that I'm giving anybody any ideas. Let's see. So I need to figure out how to transition into these connectors. And of course, the obvious question is this the best spot for connectors? Like I could, since I have a little one, I could, instead of having a second connector on the bottom, I could put a little one right here. If I really wanted to get cute. That seems like a pain to dock that. Also with the auto docking, this seems like a dicey spot, a little close to the hydrogen tank. I'm gonna play I'll show you why I'm a little nervous about auto docking. I'll play this little clip here. I was not looking forward to docking this when I was designing it because like the connectors like this happened. It's hard to see when you're like inside of a ship docking, but I did not expect auto docking to be a thing. Oh my god! 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 It's happening! I'm not. Oh god! Oh no! Plank has found us. We have been discovered. I can't. I'm not currently docking this right now. I'm a little nervous. Docking has betrayed me. Oh god! Oh god! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I'm a little nervous to have the hydrogen tanks near auto docking in case something like this happens again. But as long as it stays under 20 meters per second, it's not going to get destroyed. Oh, I'm getting yeeted away. In theory. All right, stay calm. Stay calm. Everybody, stay calm. Everybody, stay calm. Totally normal. This is totally normal. Oh god. Oh god. I can't get into the cockpit. I'm also glad this didn't happen on a server because I at least had autosaves to like fix it. If this happened on a server, you would just have to deal with it, which is unfortunate. Ouch, yeah, that hurts. I just need to get into the cockpit, please. Oh, I got in, but I spammed
And it breaks right here.
Unpark this. Oh.
Boom. So
I unparked it.
so auto docking can be kind of dangerous, I've learned. I did test after the fact, and it didn't happen again. So I don't know what was going on exactly. I auto docked to another auto docked grid, and I think that that really was all it could handle. But yeah, I could put a little connector back there, because it's just for connecting to small things to transfer. Granted, it's not on the very bottom, so if I'm docking onto a small thing flush, it's going to be hard. The thing I don't know yet in this game, and I suppose I could test it, is I don't know what can travel through small conveyors and what's limited to large conveyors. That's something I don't know, but we can actually test that, because honestly, if I could just not have any big connectors and just have this little connector on the back, I'd be super okay with that, because it looks way cleaner to have that bottom clean like that. So let's test something. Let's get testicle. Let's go into this. I have this already kind of set up to. So even though it's not buffering, it is still telling me this can't be right. It's telling me I'm dropping 40 frames per second. I feel like that's probably not accurate. I'll have to look back and find out. That's what OBS is telling me. Whoa, this looks like dog shit. Oh, I think it's because it's a test planet. It's got a buffer. Wow, this looks bad. Oh, it's getting better. It's getting better. I think it's better. All right. So I need to test connectors. Let's set up let's get this thing. Let's create a cargo container on the ground here. This is not my normal toolbars. So let's put that here. And let's put we're going to learn together, everybody. I do wish there was like toolbar presets, honestly, because I hate that everything I go, I have to set my toolbars every time. Like, how have we never had preset toolbars? It blows my mind. Okay, so we have a little connector there. Let's fly the ship on top here. You know, YouTube does collaborations now on videos, so we can collaborate on videos and we can post it as both of our channels. So, all right, so we're gonna dock here. That didn't work. What the fuck? Set auto dock. But it's not dock. Oh, you know why? Is because this needs to have power, I believe. Let's just give it a reactor. Should be good enough. All right. I think you're on now, hopefully. It's not docking. What am I? Oh, what the? Okay. Why aren't you docking? Oh, wait, it's going really slow. I just gotta wait for it, I think. Did it dock? Oh, it docked. Oh, it just goes way slower now. You're getting half buffer now. All right, let me dock it back down to 10K. Thanks for alerting me. It probably didn't help that I loaded this world. It probably sucked up my bandwidth a little bit. Yeah, I'll figure out. Wait a minute. Did I just cut my stream on accident? Oh no. Is my stream dead? Smooth. Let me know if my stream just shut off, because something weird just appeared in my OBS. Something weird just happened. I think it's still going though. All right, so I think they slowed the auto docking down, which that would help the problem we had with that video. All right, we'll come back here,
And we're going to open our debug menu here. And there's objects somewhere in here. Gameplay. Wait, was it floating objects? Oh, it is. Yeah, floating objects. Yeah, put it back to 10K, so hopefully that helps. Oh, I need to be in my character for this. So I don't know how to transfer items into a grid yet. I just know how to spawn them on my character. If anyone knows how to put items in a grid, that would be super useful to know. Otherwise, we'll just spawn 10 here. Spawn an inventory. And now I have some. Put them in here. Yeah, I put it back down to 10. Let me know if it, but it's still saying it's, no matter what I change the setting to, OBS is telling me that it's still exporting like anywhere to 11 to 12,000, like no matter the setting I put it on. So I think I think it won't let me change it live. I think it won't change until after I start the next stream. So the next stream I'll just start it at 10K. Maybe that'll fix all of our woes, because the GPU and everything's fine. I have, my computer is nowhere near max capacity, so I don't know why we'd have an issue. Okay, so we got the mission runners. Let's start with metal grids. Metal grids can move through small containers. I know that was a big one in the previous game. There's no large steel tubes. Okay, stream's still up. Man, I wonder how delayed my stream is also. Seems like it's really delayed. It's only the second time I've streamed on this computer, so we're figuring it out. Appreciate you guys persevering with me as we figure out everything. What could be a large component that might not, like, is a chemical synthesizer big? Let's just let me just take one of those in my inventory. Chrome coating, I don't know what that is. Cobalt. Oh, here's ore. I was looking for ore earlier. I'm figure out how to get it. It's in this screen. Combustion chamber, is that big? Who knows? Add it to inventory. Let's see. Electronic parts are small. Rich uranium, Gatling ammo, like maybe ammo box. No, but ammo box, those are small because the Gatlings have a small ammo on them. Gold thread, gravity core. I don't know if that's big. Just add one to those inventory. Heavy duty plates, those can go through small, I'm pretty sure, but we'll test that as well. Ion accelerator. There's so many new things. I'm so excited. Laser. You know, there's a laser, which I noticed is part I've looted a couple times. I'm sure it's just for a laser antenna, but I'm wondering if it's for more, or if it has to also deal with one of the, I know one of the assemblers, maybe it has to uses a laser, maybe. I don't know if there's going to be like laser weapons. I have so many thoughts on that. Magnesium bar, mainframe. No, mainframes are small. Medical kit, motherboard. No, wait, motherboards are small. What? Maybe mainframes are bigger. I'm trying to figure out if there's big components that don't move through this. Like, what's the disadvantage of having a small connector? It's got to be something. Like, do power I mean, you can carry power modules, so I would imagine. Well, you can carry everything. Radiation shielding. Rocket. That sounds bigger. Stainless steel. Yeah, if you're around, it would be good to know. It's hard to like find like solid resources on it, because like they can't really recommend anything, because it's just totally dependent on the setup, right? So it's tough to figure it out without doing this. So yeah, if you have some tips, I would for sure be around for that. I can pop in a Discord. Are titanium blades big? No, I think those are small. I think most of the stuff I've transferred through a small connector. Turbine blades? Can I control to select more than one thing? No, I can't. It'd be too easy. I gotta scrub this thing every time. So an inventory. And welders, uraniums, ultra resistant plate. Don't know what that is. All right, spawn inventory. Okay, let's see. So I should be able to just move these into a cargo container on the mission runner. And everything goes. Huh. So is there no point in having a large connector? What's the advantage? There's got to be a trade-off, right? Or else why not just have small conveyors everywhere? Unless you're just trying to like save PCU and not have as many conveyors, because smaller conveyors require more. But you can use bigger ones than just down convert if you're trying to save space. What's the disadvantage, man? I don't know. Like ore can move through it. I mean, if there's no need for a large connector, I probably won't really use them very often. When you did the leak video and saw the laser and debug during launch week of the game, I had a field day with laser theories. Yeah. Yeah, I talk about lasers a little bit in my shield and survivability video. Let's see. Yeah, because ore can transfer through. Huh. I don't know what... Man. Yeah, there's definitely a lot to theorize about lasers, that's for sure. If they had heat mechanics, using it to heat up components would be another thing. As far as I can tell right now, there is no disadvantage to using small connectors, and everything moves through small connectors. Maybe it's just because it's still early. Maybe that's subject to change. I don't know how I'd feel about it. I don't know that I really would care if we only had to use small connectors. It seems like certain big things really should only work in large connectors. That's interesting, though. The stream is now at super low, and it's now only going 6,000 kilobytes per second, so it should be pretty smooth now, I imagine. I don't know why it's going slow now, but whatever. Well, if I can get away with a small one for now, I think I might just do that. I might do just that, everybody. Just leave the small connector, and then I can have a really super butter smooth bottom. I also can't wait for like rotors and stuff to make, you know, landing gear that actually deploys and stuff, because I think it's so dorky having landing gear on the bottom. Obviously, I'm going to style this here and get it more flush in design and stuff, and those are just slapped on, but I can't wait to actually make real landing gear. Also, how have they never made landing gear in this game where you press a button and it like contracts? Like, how have they never had that as like a decorative block you can buy or something like that? Yeah, I was thinking that too, like transfer speeds, but like, what is the... Yeah, they haven't implemented large and small limits. Yeah, I think you're right. I think eventually there probably will be something that's limited or something. There has to be. Otherwise, what's the point of the large ones? Why not just have a universal system? But yeah, how have we never had like animated landing gear as a vanilla item yet? This blows my mind. I also really hope that in SC2 that we can actually use actually print subgrids into survival, because like it's just like it's the fact that people make so many crazy cool mechanisms and devices in creative mode, but there's like not a reasonable way to like actually bring it into the game is just like baffling. It's just like there's some like I don't even bother sometimes with too much mechanical stuff, because everything I make I want to bring into survival. So like in SE1 I just like didn't really dabble too deep into it, because I was like, well, I'm not gonna be able to use this in any of my games, so like, and it's like way too much work to like save your grid as like 6 different blueprints and like bring in each, like, you know, the wings are one blueprint, like left wing, right wing, you know, the thrusters and stuff. It's just so much work. So I know that right now with being able to paste the blueprints like you can in creative mode into survival, that'll be huge. I'm just wondering if you can like, I mean, I guess you could, as long as you can mount it onto a rotor head, I guess you like have a rotor head and then you paste the part of your grid. It would just be nice if you could paste the hologram with the subgrid and just put the thing together. That'd just be so much easier. That's my rant on that, though. Yeah, look at how much cleaner this looks without those connectors in the bottom. So much better. And I'll just have a little, you know what I could do? Is put on this little guy. Is that... Oh, I thought there was one that was wait, this is detail block size. Okay, I'm tripping. Could put this on here. So it's a little more spaced out. I still don't love that it sticks out though. I really like it flush. I like a good flush build. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that there's landing gear like that as a mod. Yeah, but yeah, it's yeah, it is weird that we just don't have it yet as a vanilla block. It just looks so cool. Like, who likes just static landing gear on the bottom of their ship? It looks so dumb. Like, just one that like folds in flush or something. I don't. Yeah, it's so strange. I mean, I guess we don't really have a lot of like animated blocks though in general, to be fair. But like, I mean, there's like things with things spinning, but I don't know if there's any other than doors and stuff where you press it and like it actually like does something that I can think of off the top of my head. With SE2, they can make it super easy since with the mod kit, you can combine features into the same block. So they could do something with a piston motion feature and the bottom have the landing gear function. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just even excited to make my own is on top of that. But yeah, modders will do it. I just want that stuff in vanilla because I just really hate having to have a separate block set just for servers and stuff. Let's see, how do I want to... Okay, so thinking in the future, because I'm trying to, I'll keep all my grids updated as the workshop, as we get more items. Like I have my live pod, I have to do some upgrades now that we have functional blocks. So eventually I will make this to where the landing gear can fold. So I think I'll put it a little up on here and then I'll have like a module later that will fold it down. You know what? There. It's done. I couldn't possibly do it any better than this. I dare anybody to try. So yeah, I'll future-proof it, put it up here a little. Even if like these landing gears had like a suspension would even be kind of cool. So is that high there? It has to be mounted kind of here. Another one of these. Let's just mock it up here. Just sketch it. Sketch first before you detail. God, it just looks so dumb. Actually, hang on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This is... Okay. Something that is so cool about this game. I really like that there's no damage under 20 meters per second. For a myriad of reasons. I think that's a great feature. But one thing that's really cool about it, because I did this with the Talon, with that race ship, and also even with my live pod, and also even with my... everything I have put in the workshop so far, I've done this with. You don't need landing gear for anything other than like hauling stuff, really. I mean, you don't need unless you like really want to lock down. There's no reason for it to stick down. So like you can just make landing gear, just land ships in this game. Oops, forgot to go on the front, just on surfaces, just as it is, because the grid won't take damage as long as it's going at 20 meters per second. So you can just land stuff like this and just like let it be on the ground, which is super cool. I mean, you could do that in SE1. It's just that it is possible that you could take damage. Like if you're in gravity, when you do this, you just turn the dampeners off and the ship's on the ground. And now the ship's just down like this. Like, so you can make landing gear just with rails and stuff. Looks like a gun like that. Yeah, it was kind of a little pistol-y, wasn't it, with the big landing gear? Yeah, so I think I won't do landing. I think I'll do landing gear, but it'll be recessed, and it'll be flush at the bottom, and it'll be there only to pick up loads. Or I mean, if you land like this, you could lock it down in case you want to like lock onto a ship or something. But there's no reason for it to stick out. You can just have it flush. Then you don't have to worry about like having stupid gear sticking down because this looks way cooler. And now the ship's way easier to get into also because I don't even have to jump. I didn't jump or anything. I mean, I have a little ramp there that I have to build out, but I can just walk right in. So that's what we're gonna do. That's the fix. How are we liking this too? Is it looking good? Is it looking ridiculous? It's really just a more powerful version of Sludge or whatever they call the vanilla ship. Just holds way more cargo and it looks way cooler. Maybe. Looks different, I should say, anyway. So, we need to get landing gear. What does the top landing gear look like? Because it's likely that it's going to be visible inside the cab. It looks passable. You know what? I actually remembered that I have a hole. This is another great thing for spectator camera. Let's see, go in here. I have a hole here between my survival kit, which I have kept empty because I'm like, this might be useful for something as I'm greebling to have this space empty. Lo and behold, let me make sure my symmetry is just on blue or green. Okay. So we can come in here, delete these. Ha ha! Ha ha! Ha ha! Yes, sir. Yes, look at that. Look at that. And we'll stick that right up in there. Look at that. That is much better. And I'll have I'm going to put a layer of armor, so this will actually be flush with the rest of the armor. I'm going to put another layer down. But that solved that problem. Easy peasy. So now I still have ability to pick stuff up if I need it. And I'll have a nice flush bottom that won't look ridiculous. Okay, cool, great, excellent. Good job, everybody. So now, just gotta figure out how I want to greeble the bottom here. I think I'll start from the back and work my way up, because I don't know these slopes yet, and I think one of the final things I'll do once I get the bottom done is I'm gonna do a little chop shot maybe on the front, mess with the cockpit. I haven't actually messed with the cockpit. That's like the first thing I put on, and I'll probably circle back to that at the end. Make it maybe smaller, we'll see, maybe not. One of the reasons, too, there was empty space in here is this wasn't even going to be weldable in survival anyway, because you can't reach into there. Okay, so start from the back. Let's see. One nice thing to do if you want to cover up your conveyors, something I like to do, you'll see it in a lot of my builds, is just add sort of like some venting. Sort of just looks like this. Just take some of these. And you just put them in a grid like that. You got no, let's do it 2 for now, and if we can always take it away later, but just add something for filler. Can always add something else here. Let's get a little bit of that. Since this is going to be sort of skids for our landing gear, we don't have to have it be white, we can have it be off-colored. And I do like these pillars. I like to take those, obviously those black ends, and match them together. I'm wondering if the venting doesn't quite make sense, just because you'd be landing on that. It would probably take a little, in reality, it would take a little bit of damage. We'll see. I also maybe want to have, you just see what this looks like if I put a angle block here, just to kind of transition out of the back there. Do I have any leeway to move this forward 1 block? Yeah, I could move it forward 1 block. Has implications over here, though. Just trying to see if I can shift all of this over 1 and still use these pillars. Let's get rid of this and this. Get rid of that block. Get rid of that block. Yeah, we can move forward 1. Also why I don't get too crazy with greebling something if I don't know how it's going to lay up yet. I think also we'll switch to a lighter gray on this. Okay, now I can, I don't know why I painted that, I'm just going to delete it. Now I can do these. Here. Here. Is the hole visible in here? Yes, it is. Okay, it's good. It's good it's visible. I need it to be visible, or I can't weld it in survival. That is the name of this ship, is can I weld it in survival? Every design decision on this entire ship is can I weld it in survival? That's literally influenced everything with this. Oops, I forgot to change my paint color. Let's go ahead and paint it again. When you're placing your blocks and using R to place your blocks, it does not sync with your paint gun tool. So if you selected a paint gun option, it will not be reflected when you're placing blocks. Just a side note, which is fine, just something to know. It would be nice if it did, honestly, though, but you get it. Maybe one day. I didn't even know it was actually being added. I just realized, I was like, oh, replace, or realized when I had a block added, I was like, oh, change color. They stuck that one in there. I don't know how I missed that one, because those are the kind of details I look out for. I think maybe this bottom will bulge just a little. Just give it a little bit of a belly. So let's just sketch these in there. Just see what that looks like. CI Wiz. Can I weld it in survival? Sounds like a great faction nickname. Yeah, it depends how many characters they're going to limit us to. If it's just 3, we'll have to summarize that a little bit. Let's see. The bulge is going to be here. Then it's going to have to fan out. It's not going to play well with this. So I could transition this. I have to move this all back 1, which pushes off that corner. Can I move these forward 1? Yes. Yes, I can. Oh, no, I can't. This is conveyored. Also, another great thing about spectator mode, you can enter into your block and see what conveyors are. Or, like, if you know this O2 generator needs a small conveyor, like, wait, did I mount that on a small conveyor or a big conveyor? And you can come into here, into your blocks, and you can look in your cargo containers. So if you're not sure if it's ported right, you're like, okay, there's the large one, there's a large one, there's a small one. And then you're like, is that mounted to another large one? And you come in here and be like, okay, yep, it's large on large or whatever. What am I in? Oh, it's a survival kit. That one's not ported, but that was the wrong direction. But yeah, anyway. So I cannot move forward once. I have to move that back, which is fine. I can just do this. Start this here instead. CIW, can I weld? Can it weld? Will it weld? Whew. Do I love this? Do I love it? Do we love it? Nah, I don't think we love it. I don't think we love this. I don't like that part. Let's go ahead and just delete that part. That looks silly. Let's see. How big do we want to go with this belly? I don't even know if it needs the belly. Let's see what we got for. Let's just see how things line up. Sometimes if I'm not sure, I just sort of pull in some of the transition blocks and see if it's meshing or not. First effect or cap. Can it weld? Will claying let you weld it? Because sometimes that homie is not a homie. He is most unhomey many times. That clang. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out. You know, before I get lost in the sauce of figuring out this transition, let me see if the belly... Uh-oh, something's broken. Something's broken. What did I do? Why is this... Oh, now it's working. What the heck? I couldn't place it there a second ago. As long as you don't auto-dock. Yeah. Ain't that the truth? Although when I auto-docked a second ago, it went really, really slowly. So maybe they kind of realized that's an issue. Because oh man, auto-docking was, like, super fast. Like... It's scary how fast auto docking is. I'm like, this is just. I feel like it just goes a little too fast for my taste. Hey, what's up, Luke? Yeah, I can't wait for multiplayer also. We're gonna be doing some various shenanigans when multiplayer comes out for sure, including but not limited to racing. Some combat scenarios. It's gonna be co-op, so I don't know if there's gonna be like friendly fire or not, because that'll also kind of dictate some of the stuff we can or can't do. All right, maybe instead of this big one, we just do just a small bulge. Just a small bulge. Like so. Let's actually we'll bring in this column now and put this here. Yeah, hey, well, if you need co-creators on your videos, I'm here for whatever shenanigans we want to line up. So I'm in it to win it. In it to win it. Yeah, so the PvP will be based on if we can. Although if we can't, if friendly fire is not enabled, I'm sure we could just mod it to turn it off, because I have a lot of ideas for different scenarios to run. I actually like when I first got into like making custom things, it was actually on a Halo 3, the OG Forge, if y'all remember that. I was big into that. That was back when my gamer tag was Gnarly Nick. Get the Xbox crew going. I could get a full custom game going with a full lobby and like just message to all friends, hey, it's forming up a lobby. I had so many just random people that I just set kind of like pre-Discord, just have like keep my friends list just full of active Halo 3 players, and if somebody was like offline for like a week, I just put somebody else in, because people would join lobbies and they'd bring their friends and be like, can I just be on your friends list so I can get the invite or whatever? And I'm like, yeah, let me find somebody who hasn't been on in 7 days and I'll just replace them with you, because you got a max size of friend list back then. I am down for vids for sure. Yeah, Fools is cool. Also, I've chat with Fools a bunch. Also, I'm in. Count me in. Yeah, so I did a lot of like infection maps on Halo 3, like a lot of them. Like I'd actually like I'd run those all the time. It was like really fun ones where you could like bust down like walls and stuff. One of them actually got jacked by Bungie. Because they had like a community, they had like their Bungie thing, and they would do community highlights. And then somebody one day was like, "Yo, you should look the map Bungie just like marked as theirs," because they literally took my map and claimed it as theirs and put it on the Bungie site, which I was pissed, because they did call outs for like actual people, and I was like, man, why could you not like shout me out like you do with other people? Why'd you take my map? But it was whatever. It was fun, just having fun. Yeah, this pod's looking better. See, now it's kind of looks like more of like a landing pod kind of thing. Yeah, I actually picked it back up, Halo up again. I actually when I started this channel, actually I was doing Halo 3 stuff on like Twitch and making like custom maps. Like I had a really fun one that was I was doing mods, so there was like a forklift you could drive around, and so I made this map that was like you did a sumo match with like 20 forklifts on a pad, and like the pad had explosives underneath of it, so every like 20 seconds the outer rim of the pad would like break, fall down. It was kind of like the you know what it was? It was like Fusion Frenzy Sumo is what inspired me to make it, but it was with forklifts. And then you like, so then you drop down, and then you fall down and die and stuff. I guess maybe it is a little Razor Cresty. Razor Crest. I mean, it's not like the Razor Crest, I guess, unintentionally. I was just kind of trying to make a VTOL ship, but yeah, I guess it does. I guess it is a little Razor Cresty. Here's the this is the inspiration I was using to make it, just for reference. I was a teen during Halo 3. Yeah, I'm 35. I was I don't remember how old I was. It was like middle school or something. Yeah, I remember when Halo first came out, like Xboxes first came out, and like Halo came out. Like we would do, me and my buddies. There's me and my brother, and then we had two buddies that were also brothers. Shout out to Weeb, Splash Damage, and Hostile Witness. We would do like LAN parties with Halo. like the OG one, and like would just do duos 2-on-2 and like have the separate screens, like so you couldn't see the other person's screen stuff. Like that was so fun. That was when that happened, when that game came out, that was just like, oh man, that was a great time. Obviously games are way better now, but those were good days. All right, we'll do that color. Keep getting distracted. 20. Well, I mean, I don't know that 25-year-olds and or 28s and 35-year-olds sound that much different. I feel like it doesn't really kick in and more until maybe you get into like your 40s or something. I like to keep my youthful wiles about me. All right. I don't know if the venting is gonna stay, but I like where we're going with this pod kind of thing. I like the look of that little bulge. Would like to wrap it up the back here, but the hydrogen tank is gonna get in the way. I could add a spacer for the hydrogen tank. Which would also make this match with that, which would actually probably be look kind of good. Let's do that. Let's try that. Let's sketch it. So we're gonna put a just a conveyor here. That one. I do like that they have these little spacers, because you're 14 days older than Halo. No, I don't feel ancient. Definitely not. Yeah, to me, you're just a little baby. Little baby. I was born after Halo. No, I don't really age stuff doesn't really faze me, to be honest. All right, let's so now I can wrap this up and then blend into that container. That'll be fine. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let me put this hydrogen thruster back on just for shiggles, and put my connector back on, more importantly, so I don't forget. Yeah, Forge was awesome. You can imagine. So okay, so I imagine all the years I played first-person shooters before that. And so you can imagine after playing like Halo 1, and even before that, like GoldenEye N64. I mean, I started playing like my parents had a Super Nintendo, so I like grew up playing those. And then we got like an N64, and it was bananas, and playing like GoldenEye and stuff like that. So you can only imagine how excited I was when Forge came out, especially since when I was a kid, I always wanted to like be a video game designer. So that was a big. Those are big moments. Forge blew my mind. That was just working with vanilla Forge too. How far forward can I go with this? Not very much farther. Okay. Okay, so the greeble there, we'll kind of end with that for the pillars. So let's just throw in, let's just kind of keep shaping this here before we get too crazy. How far forward can this go? To about here. And then we can transition into that. Did you ever make maps in Tony Hawk games? I don't remember. I don't think so. I mean, yeah, like to an extent, like we would just like lay some ramps down and stuff and like do stuff, but not at all like what I did with like Halo or anything. Halo, I was in it. I was like making like competitive kind of map things. But I did play Tony Hawk games for sure when I was a kid. Sometimes me and the buddies will bust out every now and then. We'll bust out an N64 and play Horse. Tony Hawk did that a couple years ago. It was fun, but don't play those games anymore. I never played Far Cry, actually. I do remember there was like a cool element of that, though. I always like there was times where like I aspired to play it and I just never did. Just never synced up on it, I guess. I don't know. Just one of those things.
Okay, why is it being finicky again? Let me place it in there. Weird. So sometimes it like kind of wigs out the block like you can't place it. You just like have to look away and look back again, then it works magically. I blame Clang. And then we'll just transition this with this. I wonder if we should transition under here. I like that better. Haven't kept up with it since 4. Yeah, they've made quite a few of those games. I think like it looked interesting, and then like by the time they started making more and I thought about getting into it, I just had like grown less of an interest in it. Like the gameplay just didn't appeal to me as much. The mechanics and stuff. And then I learned about space engineers. And everything else is a turd sandwich. Let's just place these in here for now. Come back and Greeble. I wish there was a grate that was not 5 pixels wide. That was like 6 or something to cover these things. I'm sure eventually we'll have conveyor covers. Now let's do a test here. I like to get in and look at from the pilot seat, see how it's looking. Looking a little too strange. The gray comes forward too far, I think. I think I pull the pad up after the landing gear. What's the craziest thing I've ever done? In what? In like Halo or Space Engineers or in life? I'm gonna need a little bit more specific. Yeah, I don't know that I could choose one in life. I don't even know what I'd pull from. In life. I don't know. I have no idea. Man. I don't even know how to answer that. It's not something I've ever really thought about, to be honest. I have to think on that one. Let's see. So these lead into the landing gear. So I'm going to get rid of a row of these. And I'm going to have this be angled. No, wait, not that one. I'm going to have this be angled. Opened SE for, I would say, built in SE2 for the first time. No, maybe that's the most my mind has been blown. Maybe. Oops, these all got disconnected. Oh yeah, the conveyors aren't like. Yeah, the conveyors are weird. They're not like actual mountable things. Wait, these are all individual now. Great. I forgot about that. Yeah, they're not like real. Like, you can't mount things to it, which makes sense. It's supposed to like open, I guess. It does make it a little inconvenient to Greeble though, a little bit, I suppose. I mean, I can leave one exposed. I left the roof one exposed as detail. Just have that little guy there. So far, the top's looking way cooler than the bottom. Hey, OBS has stopped telling me that I've dropped frames, so that's good. I haven't looked at it in a while, but it's not going up anymore. When I first started playing SE2, I was just like, sometimes I just like stop and stare. I'm like, with the ray tracing, like you'd have like lights off, you're like inside of like a ship or whatever. Like I got some big frigates I was inside of, and the light was bouncing everywhere, and I was like, man, this game is just looks incredible. Or you come out here and you pop your settings and you go to like
field of view down to like 40, and you're just like, everything looks so cool and cinematic. You're like, dang, this game's the bee's knees. Do little slow pans. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I would say that SE2 blew my mind way more than the first one. The first one was like, oh cool, it's like a building game, but there's like, you know, it didn't. First Space Invaders wasn't the sexiest game. Yeah, SE2 really does look like it should run worse, way worse than it does. Like I was running around in like Forest the other day, and the stream got a little slower when I was doing it, but I was like, my game was running fine. I was like, this is crazy. You can just run through a ray trace dense ass forest like this. I really didn't think the dense forest would work good. You know, I think would look good for this is these were actually 2 pods. I move a little faster with this. Let's go this. Let's get rid of that. I got 2 pods. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some improvements to be made for performance, to be sure. And I think once we add NPCs and stuff, we'll see more. But oh, I forgot to be. I wasn't on symmetry mode. Gosh dang it! How long have I been off that for? That's the worst. Oh, I hate that. Yeah, I think once there's more NPCs and like grids and the world's more populated, we very potentially could see some changes to performance, I'm sure. But I just hope that just whatever decisions they make, I just hope it's like performance based. That was one thing when they removed stone. I was like, well, when people set up like mining rigs that just drill like a bunch of stone in the ground, that's a ton of like performance that is just going to that and tanking the server. So if they have ways to, or like they're working on mechanics and just whatever they prioritize to make sure that doesn't happen, that's fine and dandy. They're kind of forced to just do whatever does not tank performance in terms of like feature sets and things. Okay, yeah, I think a pod like that might look a little better, and then we'll duplicate this. I love this feature. This is great. But what this feature needs, this copy paste feature, it needs a way to just delete. Like you can't delete something. Like I want to delete my selection sometimes. Let's see, is one of these front and back? No. I'll put another one of these pods in the front of this landing gear. Whatever, probably should be farther forward. My landing gear has got to be there. Because sometimes you want to like just take out a chunk of your grid, and there's not a good way to just like do that. It's gonna be exposed to that. Yeah, it might be 2027. Hey Max, welcome back. Because yeah, we're about to be in 2026, and there's still a lot to do. It looks a little ridiculous there. Let's see where it looks good. Yeah, I wonder if the full release will even feel like a full release, because we'll kind of be exposed to all the features beforehand. It'll just be like, it'll just be more up to, because it's, I mean, I've played this game constantly since like the first version came out, so it's kind of just like, here's an update with more stuff, here's an update with more stuff, so it's kind of like it. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll definitely be a good day. I don't like these being split like this. I don't think that's the move. I think we should go back to, let's just undo. Whee! We just gotta figure out where to draw the line. Let me get in it and figure out where the line should be. Let's put it into the sun over here. Trust me, I want it now type feeling, so definitely wouldn't want it to be that long. Yeah. Yeah, water or mechanical blocks. They said the release is just whatever's ready first. So if water is ready before mechanical blocks, we'll get that first. So it'll just be a wait and see kind of thing. whatever we get, we get. I'm being patient with it. There's a lot to build and things to just prep for it and stuff. I have a lot of different survival craft to build and stuff. I don't know how far this should run. Let me go actually land it and see what it looks like. My thrusters aren't like very noisy. Possibly think water can do physics things with other liquids. Possible do you think water can do physics things with other liquids? Like if they add, oh, like turn lava. I don't know. I think they did talk about having lava, so I guess we'll find out. How does this look as a whole? By the way, I love the sound of grids turning on and off. So satisfying. Oops, but I have to be on for the door to open. Just seeing how the pad kind of, the bulge kind of looks on the ground. Yeah, I think this first release was the easiest date to predict, just because they already had so much for VS2 ready to go. Like for a while, it was just like kind of just making sure the game's stable and stuff. I think the next ones will be a lot harder to stay on dead. Like water is going to be tricky. Mechanical blocks just kind of depends how like clingy things get. Let's see, I think that's, maybe we'll keep it about that length. I'll just start greebling the front and then figure out how to connect to this pod. Hope they're all in on the immersion aspects. Yeah, I mean, with the NPCs and stuff, it should be pretty dope. It's gonna be my issue with SE1 for the most part is that like, I mean, most of the fun stuff to do was like on custom servers, because like the vanilla element was just like there wasn't anything to really do. I don't know that I would say I talked to them directly. I did. Looks like an Argo ship. Oh. Okay.
But take your time with your stuff.
Okay. Sorry, I just got news that there's tasty tacos waiting for me in the other room, which is exciting. So I actually talked to Keen a little bit because when Merrick saw my talent on Reddit and wanted me to design some, like, I did like an application to like design stuff for them. What I submitted wasn't very good. I kind of wish I spent a little more time on it. So I designed like a ship and an asteroid base to try to be like on the team to like actually make grids for like the campaign and stuff. But the prompt was like kind of tough because the prompt was, I think it was like a prompt from SE1. I don't think it was an SE2 prompt, because I needed to make like a ship the size of the blue ship that was like, I think like 15,000 PCU, and like a base that was like not very much PCU. So like I had a bunch of cool ideas, but I had to like keep erasing things because I'm like, like there's too much PCU. No, because it wasn't like, no, there was no like NDA. There was nothing like, it wasn't anything. It was just like a trial. It wasn't, I mean, it wasn't, there was nothing, I didn't see anything. Yeah, it wasn't anything like that. It was pretty casual. It was just like, hey, here's like make a mining ship and like make an asteroid base. And then like we'll just review it and see if we want to like take the next step or whatever. Which was cool. It was fun to do it. I probably could have submitted something better. It was just, I was really busy at the time. I was also had to wait to get my computer. Like I bought this computer to do that just to like make sure I had because I was playing on GeForce Now and I couldn't like do anything on GeForce Now. It was like, it wouldn't save anything. So I've talked to Merrick and just by email and stuff like that, and I sent him like some of the videos with feature request things, but that's about as much as it goes with Keen. I'm down to work with them however they want to. It'd be super cool to work with them. So yeah, he's got my email if he wants to do anything. I'm always down. I think they're a pretty cool team and pretty cool game, and regardless of whether I ever do stuff with them or not, I got plenty of things I want to do for this game anyway that are really fun. So whatever the adventure, I'm Just here to clown. I think instead of having this be too wide all the way, only do it to be near the landing gear. What do you pester him about? Do you just like pester him on like Twitter or something? I don't think it's going to end up like Kerbal Space Program 2, to be totally honest. I just, the only way that would happen is if like Keen runs out of money somehow, which is why I think it's good to make content for the game and get people hyped about it and make sure people are buying it, because I don't want that to happen. I don't foresee that happening. I mean, SE2 was so successful for so long. Oh, you know what this hole begs for? This could be a little... You can't tell me, as you don't know if anything you've messaged him about is happening on... Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, if it's like... Yeah, because I think because you did like a video for them, right? So you're on the in. See, I'm not on the in yet. Maybe one day. Oh, I was gonna put a light here, but I realized that will not be weldable because I won't be able to access this, which goes against our "is it weldable" clan name. Because for those who are tuning in, this is going to be a survival ship, and it's really hard to weld right now internally. I could just put a light there. Doesn't have to be. Of course, I could also just like put a light here too, I suppose. Yeah, that's true. Let's do that. Yeah, SE2 is built on a solid foundation, and KSP kind of just. I'm not as familiar with it. I've seen videos of it, but I like didn't play it, so I can't like speak to the gameplay and stuff exactly. But from what I was seeing with like comparisons, like it kind of just looked like was it not just kind of like a reskin with just like better graphics and like, I don't know, did they add a lot of new feature stuff? Like, was there any like groundbreaking new changes they made? Yeah, I think I like phasing into that double wide like that a little better. Looks a little less bulky. Oh, I could put a light there. That I can do. I can weld that. Is this a, let's see. Oh, yeah, because this is visible in here. I gotta put a block here anyway. Nice. Nice, nice. It's working out. Not as in as full. It's gotta be monetized size to get the in. Are you not monetized size? I thought you had enough to be monetized. Seemed like you did anyway. Maybe not. Can't remember your, I don't remember your follower count. There's very little content on social media considering how good the game is. Yeah, I'm working on that one, Roger. I know at one point somebody was like, you should start making more content because nobody's making educational content on SE2, and I was like, I know, I'll get some stuff up. We'll get there. Yeah, and I don't know if they were on like, I don't know how like financially stable KSP was. I mean, I don't know like Keen's financial stability, obviously, but they've been around for a long. I mean, Space Engineers 1 was what 20. They just had their like, what was their anniversary? They just had like 15 years or something. Okay, hey everybody, go follow, go subscribe to Nib Jake. He makes fun content, and watch a couple of videos in the background. Get his watch count up. Oh, after you're ripped. Oh, yeah, because it looks at the last 365 days for, like, the watch hours. The subscribers are good, but the watch hours, yeah, they have to be the last 365 days. It certainly is a stipulation. Okay, how far do I want to go with the front here? Probably to like the door. 2013. Okay, I thought it was 2013, but I thought they just had like a landmark anniversary. Maybe it was just a 12 year or something then. That's why I was hesitant to say 2013. Oh, but if I carry this to the door, oh no, because it's staying up all night. Got any fun activities you're doing staying up all night? Okay, how far back did this go? It went 2, 1, 2, so it went 1. You went from DayZ to SE1, Golden Era. Yeah, my buddies played DayZ. I did it for a little bit. I wasn't super into it. What I didn't like the most was hunger. So you can imagine how I felt when Space Engineers added hunger to the game. I was like, oh damn, that sucks, but all right, it is what it is. Waiting for some karate combat to start right now. Karate combat. Interesting. I'm curious. Let's see. So I can make this weldable. I want this one block here. So let's make this here. Throw this guy there. And then now we have a spot for a light. I just wanted a light inside the landing gear. Well, I just thought it would look really cool. Interior light or interior light or corner light? What you did? We did. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I do. That's why I got it AZ actually, because the Arma system. That was when I played it. I actually didn't know it wasn't on that engine anymore. I thought it was still on that engine. Is it on something else now? Something else now? All right, let me just button this up real quick just to get a quick wrap on this. Yeah, get rid of these. Get rid of that. You're just watching karate videos. It's hella funny. All right, I'll figure out how to I'll have to figure out how to transition this. I still got to work on the front end here. I thought I'd get a little farther than what I did tonight. We were just getting distracted with the good times, with the good vibes. It was definitely more fun doing this though than having you guys hang out than do this by myself. Engine in the back, I think 2015, 2017, can't remember clearly. Oh, okay, I didn't know they changed the engines. Interesting. Yeah, when I played it, it was definitely Arma, because I liked Arma a lot. I also like Squad, which is really fun, but nobody ever wants to play it. All right, those lights, got those lights in there now. Let me go to the dark real quick. I'll transition this more. Really thought I'd get this wrapped up and then built into survival tonight, but I guess I'm slower than I thought. Yeah, usually if I'm in silence, I just like loop a song over and over again. I do like those lights in the landing gear. We'll fine tune the brightness of it a little bit, but it looks pretty cool. Go into cinematic mode. Cinematic mode activated. Coming along. I don't know why that right light's blinking. Oh yeah, I always forget that there's music in this game. I usually turn off music in every game I play. Shorts mostly gets you subscribers. Just not focusing on a ton of content, but just releasing like good quality content was huge for sure. Like probably like half the subscribers are City Skylines and half the subscribers are Space Engineers, because I posted some City Skylines shorts that did really well. Like I have 2 City Skylines shorts that have like 300,000 views on them, which is pretty cool. That game is just kind of in limbo constantly, so it's hard to suck back into it. Imagine note blocks from Minecraft being in SE2. That would be so goofy. Go to fight someone and their ship drops a beat. There was like the jukeboxes in SE1, so like you could kind of do that. I just don't think they broadcasted very far. Well, we made some progress on this anyway tonight. Really thought I'd get a little farther. You know what we'll do before I wrap up here? Let's go park this back over here. We'll do one quick thing before I wrap. That's going into the we'll drop this sucker into a real world, fly around for a sec. Yeah, the jukebox block was not super useful. It's mostly just for like trading stations and custom servers, I feel like, which is fine. All right, so let's go to here. Let's fly. Oops. Let's update our blueprint. Also, I don't know if you guys are experiencing this. The camera, for like blueprinting is like wacky. Like it makes things look weird now. Let's go replace grid. I'll show you here. Replace the grid. Save that. I'm going to take a photo. So you see how this photo looks dark? It like darkens the photos of screenshots now. So like here, it looks like super good. And you take the photo and it's like all dark and weird. It happened when they did the VS2 update. Very strange. All right. That publish button is so tempting, isn't it? Ooh. World spawn test. This world spawn, we were here last for those joining in here. We were testing to see if there was any limitations on the small conveyor, to see if parts couldn't go through the small, and we couldn't find anything that does not go through the small conveyor. So currently, I'm not sure if there's any caveat to small connectors, but they might change that once the game gets farther along. So don't bank on that, but I'm banking on it right now with this build and just having a small connector. See, we're in gravity, so don't place it like an idiot. All right. Close that door. Oh, yeah. Is this the most recent one? Yeah, it is. Okay. See, so now we got those pods down there. I was telling you they're good for... can land on just that now. So instead of having big, ugly landing gear sticking out, just find a nice flat spot. Yeah, here's good. Sit that puppy down on those pods. Turn the dampeners off. Now you can just walk out of your ship and actually land it on. Obviously the front's all messed up. Haven't gotten there yet. It's coming along though. Multiplayer will only be for when it comes out. It'll be co-op, yeah. Just initially. That's just initially. But I do hope we get like creative mode multiplayer. Like I don't need servers yet, just creative mode, so we can like get people into a room and make content and stuff. Oh yeah, it's coming along. I'd say we're making progress. Get into survival mode soon. In the meantime, zoom. I like to fly with dampeners off also. It's just so much easier. Yeah, co-op will be before proper multiplayer. See how kind of soft roll into seeing how well the game does when there's 4 people flying grids around doing shenanigans at the same time before they just let 40 people just go to town on each other. The more they can in the Dev Diary stuff, when they've just showed performance things, they make like massive updates in performance a lot. I need to I think while I'm flying around like this, frame rate's dropping a little bit. Hate to do this. Let me just drop down to I don't want to go to medium. That's gonna look so stupid. Is this just not rendered, or is this what medium looks like? I'd take lower frame rates than this. Oops, dampers are on. I do love the yes, breakthrough. Yeah, anytime you dampen your thrust in any direction, it's more powerful than okay, when it hit the wall, think again. Whoop we go. Yeah, it decelerates you faster. I get why they have that, but definitely feels a little bit arcadey, but it's fine. It's definitely a player comfort thing. I don't mind it. It's I can make arguments for and against it, so whatever they decide is fine. Did they nerf it? It doesn't feel nerfed. But maybe they did. I think it was way more than... It's definitely way more than 1.1x. For sure. So yeah, the premise of the ship is just to have a cargo ship to run missions with. So you can just quickly bust out your contracts, and there's, I think, 6 cargo containers on it. 4 medium, and I think 2 smaller ones. So you can load up on components and just do whatever you gotta do. Hit unknown signals and loot. Oh yeah, is there unknown signals? See if we can find a hole to hide in. I just crashed? I feel like I just crashed there, but nothing happened. This game's gonna be sweet, though. This game is gonna be sweet. There's a hole. Can I fit in there? I can't fit in there. I don't know if they'll increase it, but what I do hope for is relative top speeds and boost. I have like a video on that. It's my shields and survivability video, where I get into that way more in depth. But what I hope is a relative top speed, so the heavier you are, the lower your top speed, and then also a boost bonus. So if you like are maintain under thrust, you get a speed boost above the speed limit, with the boost being related to how good your weight to mass ratio is. So that way large ships can like be run up on by small ships, and small ships can like evade or charge big ships. I think it would make for way more interesting dynamic gameplay, as opposed to just every ship, no matter the size and the thrust rate ratio, having the same top speed. I think that's a little silly, but probably gonna crash here. There it is. There it is. Whee! And cable. Cable. Smash. Well, we died. Alright, guys. I think that's a wrap for me tonight. I'll have that ship done eventually. One of these days. Appreciate you guys hanging out. There's so much more to be had, and shenanigans and content to make for this game, and it's fun to build and have people hanging out. And I know I join other people's streams all the time when I'm building, so it's fun to just hang out, see what everybody's up to, pick up all the good tips and stuff. I'll have a miner available on the workshop here soon, probably before the ship's even ready. Maybe about the same time. Maybe I'll film it all at the same time or something. But yeah, stuff to be had. But appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Oops, just want to open this thing. There we go. And yeah, Godspeed, engineers.